Evolution of Hiccup. Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, best known simply as Hiccup, makes his debut appearance in the 2010 first franchise movie, How to Train Your Dragon, as one of the two main characters, voiced by Jay Baruchel. At the beginning of the movie, Hiccup is presented as the only son of the Viking leader on the island of Berk, tormented by dragons that attack their sheepstock, who is seen as a childish, small and weak Viking that is overlooked and not taken very seriously by others. Because his tribe celebrates strong dragon slayers, he desperately wants to become one, which leads to him shooting down and injuring the rarest and most feared dragon called a Night Fury, with no one believing him. Wanting to get the proof, he initially planned to kill him, but then changed his mind and instead, in the course of the story, he grew closer to him as a true friend and helped him recover, as well as named him Toothless for his retractable teeth. With their friendship, he gains valuable experience and deeper insight into the behavior of most dragons, which not only promotes him as a dragon prodigy that deserves respect in the eyes of others, but also allows him to keep every dragon he encounters during training at bay, and eventually, especially through Toothless proving himself by saving Hiccup's life, even helping all the other Vikings to understand the true nature of dragons and begin a new era of peaceful coexistence of humans and dragons. Also, at the end of the movie, after an intense battle between Hiccup, Toothless and the Red Death, even with Toothless protection, Hiccup gets seriously injured, losing part of his left leg, which he then replaces with a prosthetic that matches Toothless' makeshift tail. Hiccup appears, playing a major role, in the 2011 animated short, Gift of the Night Fury, where right before Berk's traditional winter holiday of Snoggletog, all the dragons of Berk unexpectedly depart, which he learns about as he flies on Toothless straight into the storm of oncoming dragons, leaving everyone very upset. And since Toothless can't fly by himself, Hiccup decides to make him a new automatic prosthesis that allows him to fly on his own, after which he flies off too. At the end, after all the dragons returned back with their newly hatched babies, he was still worried about Toothless' whereabouts, after which Toothless returned as well, with Hiccup's lost helmet, which he had dropped into the sea earlier, and the two were overjoyed to be together again. The next morning, Hiccup wakes to find Toothless wanting to discard his new tail and begging him to put the old tail fin on and fly together, which he is happy to do. Next, Hiccup makes an appearance in the 2011 animated short, Book of Dragons, together with Astrid, Fishlegs and Gobber, writing notes about different types and classes of dragons in the Dragon Manual in the Great Hall, including the Strike class, which Toothless represents, with Hiccup narrating his story of how he managed to befriend and train Toothless. In the 2012 live-action play, How to Train Your Dragon Live Spectacular, Hiccup appears as one of the main characters, portrayed by Riley Minor, replaying the full original story of the first movie. Hiccup reappears in the first animated TV show in the franchise, Dragons Riders of Berk, again among the main characters, voiced by Jay Baruchel. About a year after the events of the first movie, he, together with Toothless and his other friends, is trying to preserve the balanced and peaceful coexistence between the dragons and Vikings, as well as successfully run the newest establishment on the island, a dragon training academy. In the episode How to Pick Your Dragon, Hiccup is shown helping his father to understand how useful flying a dragon can be by teaching him how to fly Toothless, not with the old-fashioned and slow Viking way, but the much easier and quicker dragon way. Hiccup appears next in the second animated TV show, Dragons Defenders of Berk, as one of the main characters, voiced also by Jay Baruchel. Hiccup, together with Toothless and their friends, continues their training and mastering their dragon training skills, as well as putting them to the test as they unite against their old and new enemies, such as a formidable new dragon, Screaming Death, that threatens the island's safety. Here, Hiccup is shown to have an ornate shield made from Gronkel iron, and like the Academy sign, the shield has a picture of a Night Fury with a red tail fin, after Toothless' appearance. In the 2014 second franchise movie, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Hiccup appears, voiced by Jay Baruchel. In the story, 5 years have passed since Hiccup and Toothless united the dragons and Vikings of Berk. Here, Hiccup has grown noticeably. His prosthetic is now more mechanical than before, with his clothes being partly leather around his upper body with a type of armor, along with arm brackets, making him look more like Toothless, and when flying with Toothless, he's seen wearing a spiked mask, and with his outfit doubling as a squirrel jacket, he's capable of gliding. At the beginning of the movie, Hiccup and Toothless spend their time charting the island's unmapped territories, and during one of their adventures, the two discover a secret ice cave that houses hundreds of wild dragons and a mysterious dragon rider, who turns out to be Hiccup's long-lost mother, Valka, who wasn't around for most of his life because of the cloudjumper incident when he was a baby that caused him to get his scar. Despite this, he still carried her in his heart, along with the little toy dragon she made for him. After that, Hiccup and Toothless then find themselves at the center of a battle to protect Berk from a power-hungry warrior named Drago Bloodfist. Close to the climax of the movie, Hiccup gets attacked by Toothless, who became subservient to his alpha, Drago's bewilderbeast, and tried to kill him. But, with Stoick managing to save Hiccup, he takes the dragon's plasma blast and passes away, which causes a heartbreaking rift between the best friends. However, with the support of his mother, he finds the strength to successfully free Toothless the next time Drago orders Alpha to make him kill Hiccup, after which Toothless redeems himself by defeating the Beast Scourge, avenging Stoick, and restoring his close relationship with Hiccup. At the end, after their victory, Hiccup becomes the leader of the Alla, and all dragons now recognize Toothless as the new Dragon Alpha. In the 2014 animated short, Dawn of the Dragon Racers, which takes place about 3 years before the events of the sequel, in between the events of Defenders of Berk and Race to the Edge, Hiccup is shown participating in their new traditional annual dragon race, which consists of a race to collect lost sheep to win the first title of Dragon Racing Champion of Berk, which they started during their teenage years and turned into a yearly competition between Hiccup, who's flying on Toothless, and his friends. In the animated TV show, Dragons Race to the Edge, which bridges the time gap between Dragons Defenders of Berk and How to Train Your Dragon 2, Hiccup reappears in the main role, voiced by Jay Baruchel. In the TV show, Hiccup, together with Toothless and his friends, sets out to explore new worlds and new species of dragons to understand more about the lives they live, as well as face new challenges and threats that could destroy everything that they have worked hard for in their lives. As depicted in the episode, Crushing It, Hiccup and others defend the outpost against a new dragon they discovered called the Rumblehorn, because of which he convinced his father to come to the edge and help them in their task. Together they discovered the true motive of Rumblehorn to save them from a tidal wave. As a result, Hiccup, Stoick and the Rumblehorn, whom Stoick names Skullcrusher, managed to save the edge from the tidal wave. The 2019 animated movie, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, features Hiccup, a year after the previous movie, Toothless and their fellow dragon riders continuing to rescue captured dragons to bring them to Berk. But due to the island's overpopulation with dragons, he wants to find the Hidden World, a safe place for dragons that his father told him about. However, after Berk is attacked by the notorious dragon hunter, Grimmel the Grizzly, who uses a white female Light Fury as bait to capture Toothless and use him as an alpha, Hiccup unites the humans and dragons to leave their home and find the Hidden World, where all dragons will be safe from hunters. During their journey, Hiccup notices Toothless' feelings for the Light Fury and his desire to be with her, which he cannot fully do because he cannot fly without Hiccup. So he once again demonstrates his skill and builds Toothless an automatic tail, which eventually allows him to be free and fly away to an unknown location with the Light Fury. After Hiccup and his friends win a heated battle against Grimmel and his army for the lives and future of the dragons, he and Toothless realize that it is time to part ways, because the dragons will never be truly safe in the human world. This is the moment when Hiccup first tells Toothless that he loves him. At the end of the movie, 9 years after this event, Hiccup, now with his wife Astrid and 2 children, is reunited with Toothless, who himself has 3 children with the Light Fury. At this time, Hiccup has changed significantly, becoming a grown man with a beard and a fur coat similar to his father's. In the 2019 animated special, How to Train Your Dragon: Homecoming, 10 years after the dragons left the Vikings, the residents of New Berk are preparing for the annual Snoggletog Festival, but Hiccup isn't feeling the holiday spirit, because he misses his friend Toothless, and also finds out that his daughter Zephyr has found Stoick's old journals, written before Vikings and dragons became friends, and now believes that all dragons are dangerous and should be destroyed. Wanting to prevent the same hatred and fear of dragons that their ancestors had, it is proposed to bring back the play Snoggletog and center it around the time when the Vikings and dragons made peace. For the play, Hiccup even created a mechanical suit resembling Toothless to play his role. But as always, things don't go according to plan, and the entire stage ends up accidentally set on fire, causing Hiccup to fall off a cliff. But during this time, thanks to Toothless and his family watching from afar, Toothless manages to save Hiccup in time, although Hiccup doesn't realize it was Toothless himself. At the end of the short, Hiccup sees Toothless flying away from New Berk with the Light Fury and the night lights from afar, and soon after decides to visit Toothless and his family in the Hidden World. Hiccup reappears in the 2019 special, Snoggletog Log, together with his family and friends, preparing dinner to celebrate Snoggletog in the Haddock family living room, with all of them seen spitting the soup on the screen and disappearing at the end. In the 2025 first live-action remake of the 2010 original movie of the same name, Hiccup appears performing his original role, with him being reprised by Mason Thames.